Oh, another good day, homosexuals. I've been living large with these workouts as of late. I've been really getting a good hold on how my body's been feeling, I've kind of come to terms with the fact that my knee injury wasn't so much of I was lifting super heavy and too heavy right on the spot. While that definitely was a factor in it, but there are going to be injuries you kind of run into along your career in lifting if you're going to do it long term, where your body's going to have to adapt to something that's never actually going to get fully better, like my injury in my hand where I got the bone growth right where my nerve was, or my nerve is, but I got the mobility to work around it. That's never going away. It's just working on the mobility, having good form so I don't hyperextend it, and then crush my nerve, crush my ligament, do all the stupid shit. It's just a constant back and forth, making sure my body feels great. If you look at the interviews from anybody who lifts in the Olympics or stuff like that, like Lasha, for example, he's number one in the world with the shit that he does, making it look easy. And I saw an interview with him. He's got like 3 pinched nerves. Both of his knees are about to explode. His shoulders on fire, like all this other bullshit that he's just constantly rehabbing every single day. Because that's kind of what it means to commit yourself to strength lifting, Of course there's a way to do it where you don't have to endure that kind of thing, but it's pretty rare that you're going to be able to go through years and years and years of consistent lifting, especially when you want to make progress and do better, to where your body's going to give out at some point, even if you feel perfect, The day I hit 445 for 4 on squat 5 months ago now, which is fucking crazy how time's already flown by and we're already at this point again. But when I hit that weight, I felt on top of the world. I had never felt stronger. I felt peaked, and my knees felt insanely good. It wasn't until the next day that I actually felt the pain and the lack of strength in my tendon. And it was right then and there where I realized that it was probably more so an injury built up over a long period of time, as in like over the course of like the past 7.5 years I've been lifting in total. I started lifting when I was 14, and while I was inconsistent back then and didn't start going hard until 3.5 years ago, that it still stacks up. It builds up over time, and our bodies, when you push them that hard all the time, are not going to be able to keep up with it when it comes to the ways that we are limited. Our core strength, our low back, our joints, our tendons, our bones. We lift dependent upon those limited parts of our physical body, When I talk to people about squatting, I'm never like, oh, it's primarily just a leg workout, that kind of thing. It's core and knees, motherfucker. You will not be able to squat the bar if your knees and your back are fucked, or your core, anything like what I just listed. If those parts of your body are not, like, if they're injured, you're not gonna be able to lift anything when it comes to free bar weight, because that's just how our body works. We need those weak body parts that we're genetically limited by when it comes to packing on more and more weight every single day and pushing it when we technically don't need to. And it's always, it will catch up. I tell people a lot, it's not the weight and the lack of injury that makes a weightlifter so legendary by the time they reach the end of their career, like people like Lasha or Lu Jiajun. It's how well they're able to mitigate, persevere, and grow through those injuries and those limitations, because every one of them had, I guarantee you, at their best Olympic Games, I guarantee you all of them had injuries. Guarantee it. Just underlying injuries that they were PTing, trying to mitigate as hard as they can, because they are constantly trying to be comp ready. And that's the life they choose to live. Because there's always a way to do it. It's just kind of one of those things where I really can't ever stop moving, or else my knees are going to lock up on me. But again, if I ever stopped strength building, I feel like I would still continuously train mobility and overall basic fitness to make sure that my joints and tendons can stay at least strong enough to maintain, basic wellness of life. I don't want to be stuck in a chair or on a cane or a walker when I'm in my 50s. You know what I mean? Because there's always a way to work through it. You just got to keep consistent. Does not matter the weight. Even if I'm just doing the barbell when I'm 50 to 60 years old, it's keeping me moving. It's keeping me strong. It's keeping me it's keeping me as strong as I need to be in that moment, you know? It's a wonderful thing. Other than that, everything today felt pretty great. You know, I reasonably so. I went really hard on my snatch day yesterday because I felt really good, and that's great. Progress was fucking made. But yeah, the the low back caught up to me today, especially with I've been doing a lot of reverse sled movements to strengthen my left knee and mitigate that risk of injury while I do these heavier weights. And although I stood like 235 for 3 triples on power clean and jerk, pretty decent. I'm happy with that. You know, I was doing 245 on pause clean and jerk, so I don't want to supersede that weight just because it feels like I can go heavier. The power clean and jerk is meant more for the focus of explosiveness on the power clean itself and maintaining that good technique, you know? You don't need to go that heavy on a power clean or a power snatch. It's just making sure you hit all the right movements right where they need to be hit so that it can transfer over positively when you do the full movement, you know? And trust me, I was pretty fucking tired, but I'm getting a lot better I think I'm getting a lot more progress on my split jerk. I'm getting better at just kind of slowing down the tempo just that slight bit on the first pull, and you know, like the dip down before I do the drive back up to jerk. You know, of course there's going to be some gaps in my form every now and then when I'm tired, but for the most part, especially that last set, I was very, very happy with the progression and the tempo I had with the lockout and my feet landing exactly where I wanted them to. You know, I'm getting a better muscle memory for where I want my feet to be. And you know, I can't fucking complain. Other than that, I got to squats and my knees felt fucking phenomenal today. So I was kind of I had the little misconception that I was going to be able to throw on 395 today for 3 triples on squat. And that did not fucking happen. By the time the power clean and jerks were over, because I'll tell you right now, if you do some hard fucking training every day, your low back when you get onto a power clean and jerk day, it feels impossible to keep your butt from going up first. You got to really lock that shit in. But yeah, I got the squats, and I could already tell that my low back was just not going to be able to drive as hard as it was the other day, because I did 385 for 3 sets of 6 last week. So I was just like, you know what? Even though strength-wise I might not be exactly where I wanted to be, that doesn't mean I'm not making good progress and that I wasn't strong today, you know? So I just got to commit to what my body's able to give me. So I got up to 385, and I'll tell you right now, from my personal experience so far, going back and forth from crunch and the shed with the kg plates, I don't know why, but when it comes to squatting at the very least, I'm not sure about Olympic lifting so far, but when it comes to squatting, I definitely feel that the crunch weights are heavier. And that's not a means of they are literally pound per pound heavier. It's more so that the width of the plates, the bounciness of the bars, you know, the density or whatever, they're a little bit different, you know, and it makes it feel heavier because I think it's just a less compact equipment. You know, when I'm using the kg bars and the kg plates, the bar is much stiffer and doesn't bounce as much on the squat, so I can have a little bit better of a drive up without my core needing to restabilize. And then same thing with the plates being a lot wider and bigger. The further out the plates go on the barbell, the bouncier the barbell is going to be on your back when you drive back up, and it does actually engage your core a little bit more, which is a good thing, and also not a bad thing, but it's gonna make you it's gonna make you tired as fuck at the very least when you get to that point where you have to really drive through at 100% and your body's just sitting there like you get that little extra bounce at the bottom. It's like, holy shit, you know, that's when I start yelling, because my core is just it's gone. You know, on the last set of squats today, my whole fucking core went numb, which honestly, it's kind of nice because it's a bit revitalizing to get to feel that kind of, you know, that good stress again. You know, I really enjoy getting to feel that that increase in effort without my knees absolutely buckling under the pressure. Now, sure, they're not at 100% by any means, and you know they might never be at 100% ever again. I don't know. I either have a minor tear or cartilage buildup or something. I don't know. But with my limitations, there are ways to mitigate that. And although I was not, just like how strength is relative, your positivity is also relative to the way that you view your livelihood, your daily life, the effort you put in. It's really so much more of choosing to commit to a positive mindset and lifestyle in the moment so that you can make the best of your body's capabilities while you've got it in that present moment, So today, number-wise, I obviously was not as primed as I am typically at, but I made progress on my power clean and jerks. They felt great. The split jerk felt awesome. I got, my knees felt really, really good. I will say right now, my knee feels slightly sore, but I put on more weight on the sled than I'm used to. So again, it might not be so much that I'm in pain. It might just be more that it's just sore and it needs to get used to that extra bit of stress. But either way, it's okay if I make a misstep or if I fuck up in a slight way along the way. That's how I learn, I grow through these, it seems negative, but in reality, it's the experience is gold. It's genuinely a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to have an opportunity to fuck up and then build up off of it, It's not so often that we find things that we're passionate in that we can make such a positive experience out of something that's so shitty to the majority of people, because everybody looks at me and they're like, dude, I wouldn't be doing that ever if I had the risk that you had, and I don't want to fuck up my body and all that shit. And I'm like, cool, that's completely fine. Do your thing. But god damn it, I love this shit. It gives me life, I breathe life through these weights. And not because of how heavy they are, but for the sake of the effort I'm putting behind them, So, I'm going to choose to pick to pick what I'm positive about so that I can love my daily life even more, If my knee's not as good today as I want it to be, we'll work on it tomorrow. And shit, I might wake up and my knee feels at 110 fucking %. You never know. So just don't overthink it, man. If you're... I love something that me and my homies tell each other. I love this shit. After 9 p.m., you cannot trust your brain. If you're at the end of the day and you're beating yourself up over some work you think you need to be worrying about right now, enjoy the night. At the very least, you made it through the day. You're alive. You're breathing. You got the bare minimum done, sure. But take the fucking positive notes from that. Give yourself credit for at least maintaining your daily life, Everything after your biological necessities, and I think having a social... like good people in your life is also a necessity. But beyond that, life's an accessory, And take the positives out of everything you do beyond that. Because, why make yourself feel shittier over things that can potentially make you an even better person, even if you think that you're not doing as well comparatively to the rest of the world? God damn, who gives a fuck what other people are doing? Just enjoy what you're doing, man. That's at least how I feel. But anyway, just to let you guys know how I was feeling today, because I forgot to fucking mention it again. You guys let me yap on for too fucking long. And then I want you guys to know how I'm feeling before I get philosophical, you know what I mean? But whatever. That just means I was in the moment. That just means I was feeling it. But physically, I'd give it a solid 8.65. That sounds pretty decent. Again, it just... My low back was not as strong as I wanted it to be, sure. And the squats weren't as confident as the other day, maybe. But regardless, I'm fucking putting in the work. It was really... I miss being able to put that much drive behind the bar. It was reassuring that I can do that kind of shit. And again, even if next week my knee feels like shit and I got to go back down and weight again, who fucking cares? I'm not saying that as a, whatever, fuck it, who gives a shit? I'm saying it more as, look at the bright side, god damn it. I can lift. I can still throw the barbell with a fucked up knee. That's awesome. How many people with a fucked up knee injury that's thrown weights the way, at a comfortable rate? The way that I'm putting up some heavier lifts nowadays. It took months. But in reality, think about it. A tendon issue, especially if it's a kind of a tear issue potentially, that shit is normally minimum 6 months to rehab. And I was putting weight back on within 3 months, and now 5 months in, I'm consistently feeling good. Even if it feels a little shitty every now and then, and I got to pick up the weight and do my best along the way, it's getting there. You know, step by step, I'm mitigating the injury more and more every day to the point where in another 5 months, I might not even feel the injury anymore. It might just be gone as long as I maintain it and I don't overdo it in the way that it fucks it up again, you know? Ugh. Mentally, 100% got to give it a nice... honestly, a flat 9. I'll just put it right on that marker. It was a really good day. Nothing too fucking crazy, nothing too ecstatic. But, you know, I got to sleep in today. I didn't have to worry about work. I just kind of enjoyed myself and did my best. And that's what I'm about. God damn it. So, I appreciate you guys letting me yap on. I got to fucking get out of here. I'm going to go eat some ramen with the homies. And, you know, let me know how those lifts and those laps have been going. As always, I'm going to be back tomorrow. I got pause snatch and pause bench press. So I'm going to see how the new form on bench feels. Really try to lock that in and go from there. Just doing better every day, loving life. That's how it is. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye.